We often romanticize prehistoric life, picturing strong hunters and close-knit tribes. But have you ever stopped to think about what our ancient ancestors truly lost? I'm not just talking about losing a spear. I mean the profound, everyday losses that shaped their existence. This isn't a story of triumph, but a humbling look at the incredible hardships they faced and overcame, just so we could be here today. Let's peel back the layers of time and explore the forgotten sorrows of our earliest relatives. Imagine this: you're a hominin, maybe an Australopithecus, living 3 million years ago on the African savanna. Your world is a constant, humming symphony of danger. The most immediate and devastating loss you could face was the loss of a tribe member. There were no hospitals, no antibiotics, no way to mend a broken bone or fight off a simple infection. A deep cut from a sharp rock, a gash from a predator's claw, or even a bad tooth could be a death sentence. When someone fell ill or was injured, the group had to make a heartbreaking choice: slow down and risk everyone's safety, or leave the individual behind. Each person lost was not just a friend or family member. They were a vital part of the group's survival. They were a hunter, a forager, a protector, a caregiver. Losing one person could cripple the entire community, and the emotional toll must have been immense. Beyond the loss of life, consider the loss of knowledge. In a world without writing, every piece of information was stored in the minds of the living. The elder who knew the secret location of a hidden spring, the skilled toolmaker who had perfected the art of flaking flint, the wise woman who could identify which plants were safe to eat and which were poisonous. These individuals were living libraries. The death of such a person meant that generations of accumulated wisdom could vanish in an instant. The group would have to start over, relearning through dangerous and often fatal trial and error. Think about how much progress was lost, how many times the wheel of innovation had to be reinvented simply because the one person who knew the secret was gone. This constant loss of knowledge was a massive barrier to progress. And what about the loss of children? Infant and child mortality rates were staggeringly high. The world was filled with predators, diseases, and environmental hazards. A moment of inattention could lead to a child wandering off, falling, or being snatched by a predator. Malnutrition was a constant threat, weakening a child's immune system and making them susceptible to illnesses we now consider minor. For our ancient ancestors, the joy of bringing a new life into the world was perpetually shadowed by the very real possibility of losing that child. The emotional resilience required to endure such repeated heartbreak is almost unimaginable to us today. It's a somber reminder that, for most of human history, simply surviving to adulthood was a monumental achievement. Let's talk about the loss of security, something we take for granted every single day. We have homes with locks, communities with laws, and systems designed to protect us. Prehistoric people had none of that. Their home might have been a temporary shelter of branches, a cave, or just a specific grove of trees. This home could be overrun by predators like saber-toothed cats or giant hyenas at any moment. A flash flood could wash away their entire camp, destroying their tools, their food stores, and their shelter. A wildfire could force them to flee with nothing but the clothes on their backs if they even had clothes. They lived in a state of perpetual vulnerability. The feeling of safety was a fleeting luxury, not a right. Every sunset brought a new wave of anxiety, a new set of dangers to navigate in the dark. Now consider the loss of resources. Finding food was a full-time life or death job. A successful hunt was a reason for celebration, but that success was never guaranteed. A hunting party could return empty-handed for days on end. A drought could wither the plants they relied on for foraging. A shift in animal migration patterns could mean their primary food source simply disappeared. We worry about our grocery bills. They worried about total starvation. The loss of a single large animal carcass to a more powerful group of scavengers could be catastrophic. The loss of a basket of gathered berries, dropped while fleeing a predator, was not a minor inconvenience. It was a devastating blow to their chances of survival for the next few days. Every calorie was precious, and the loss of any potential meal was a direct threat to their existence. There was also the loss of mobility. In our world, a sprained ankle is an annoyance. For a prehistoric human, it was a potential disaster. Their survival depended on their ability to move, to follow herds, to find new water sources, to escape danger. An injury that impaired movement, even temporarily, could mean being left behind. It meant you couldn't hunt, you couldn't forage effectively, and you couldn't flee. You became a burden on the group, a liability. The loss of one's physical ability, one's own 2 feet, was a direct loss of one's independence and, very often, one's life. We see evidence of this in the fossil record skeletons of individuals who survived debilitating injuries, which tells us that sometimes their groups did care for them. But these were likely the exceptions, a testament to the incredible strength of their social bonds in the face of overwhelming pressure to abandon the weak. And finally, let's consider a more abstract but equally profound loss: the loss of opportunity. Think of all the potential that was never realized. The brilliant mind that could have sparked an artistic revolution but was born into a world where survival was the only priority. The compassionate soul who could have been a great leader but was lost to a childhood illness. The potential for art, for music, for philosophy, for science, it was all there, dormant within their minds, but the constant, grinding pressure of survival meant there was little room for anything else. They didn't have the luxury of pondering the stars or composing symphonies. Their creativity was channeled into one thing: staying alive. The loss was not just personal, it was a loss for all of humanity, a delay in our collective journey toward who we are today. So when we look at the artifacts and fossils of our ancient ancestors, let's remember not just their strength and ingenuity, but also the immense weight of their losses. They lost companions, children, knowledge, safety, and resources on a daily basis. Their lives were a testament to resilience in the face of constant, overwhelming sorrow and hardship. Every one of us is a descendant of the ones who, against all odds, endured. They carried the torch of humanity through the darkest of nights, fueled by little more than instinct and a will to survive. Their losses paved the way for our gains, and for that they deserve our deepest respect and gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. I hope it gave you a new perspective on the incredible challenges our ancestors faced. If you found this interesting, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into our shared human story. Let me know in the comments what you think. What other losses do you think defined prehistoric life? Until next time, stay curious.